You ever wonder how an AI can take a simple sentence, like an astronaut riding a horse, and just turn it into this incredible, breathtaking image? It seriously feels like magic. But behind it all is this amazing technology called diffusion models. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really understand how these things work, from total chaos to creation.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the magic trick itself. How does chaos become creation? Then we're going to peek behind the curtain at the art of denoising and explore the AI's secret map of ideas. From there, it's off to the races, the great AI image race, to be exact. We'll see how one open source model just changed everything. And then, at the end, I'll give you a kind of creative compass to help you navigate this whole new world.
Okay. First up, let's just take a second to appreciate the incredible results we're seeing. This isn't science fiction anymore, This is a totally new reality for art, and it is happening right now.
I mean, just look at this. This piece right here, it's called Theater d'Opera Spatiale, and it actually won first prize in a digital art competition. And it wasn't painted, it wasn't photographed, it was generated by an AI model called Midjourney, all from a simple text prompt. This is the kind of power that's now in the hands of pretty much anyone.
So that really brings up the big question, doesn't it? How on earth does a machine go from a blank canvas of just random static, pure noise, to a detailed, coherent, and often really beautiful image? Well, that's the puzzle we're going to solve.
The answer is a technology called diffusion models. And the core idea behind them is, well, it's beautifully counterintuitive. To learn how to create, these AI models first have to learn how to destroy. It's all about mastering the art of reversing destruction, turning pure chaos back into something that makes sense.
So let's dive right into that core process. It's this fascinating dance between, you guessed it, destruction and reconstruction.
This slide basically shows you the whole process in a nutshell. First, the AI gets trained by going forward, so from left to right on this image. It takes a perfectly clean image like this picture of a dog, and it just systematically destroys it, adding a little bit of noise at each step until there's nothing left but static. Think of it like taking a sculpture and turning it back into a block of marble, but you remember every single chisel strike you made. Then comes the magic. The AI learns to reverse that process. It learns to look at any of those noisy steps and predict exactly what noise needs to be removed to get just one step closer to the original. After it's done this millions of times, it gets so good that it can start with pure noise and chisel its way back to a masterpiece. So that's the two-step dance: destroy, then learn to reconstruct. The brain that's doing all this learning is a neural network. And once that network is fully trained, it's like a master sculptor who doesn't even need a model anymore. It can just start with a fresh block of random noise and, guided by your text prompt, it denoises its way to a completely new creation.
But wait, how does a text prompt actually guide this whole process? For that, we need to explore the AI's internal library of concepts, a place that's called Latent Space.
Okay, imagine a giant, invisible library. But instead of books, you have ideas. All the pictures of dogs are on one shelf, all the cats are on the next shelf over, and cars are in a totally different aisle. That's kind of what latent space is. It's the AI's internal map of how all these different concepts relate to each other.
So where does your text prompt fit into all this? Well, as this diagram shows, your prompt basically acts like a set of GPS coordinates. The words astronaut and horse get converted into a specific destination on that map of ideas. So now, as the AI starts denoising that random static, it's not just guessing, it's constantly steering itself toward that destination, making sure the final image is exactly what you asked for.
And here's where it gets really wild. Because this map is continuous, you can actually take a walk between 2 points. This slide shows what happens when you sort of morph between 4 different concepts. As you move from the dog to the fruit bowl, you get these strange but coherent hybrid images, part dog, part fruit. It's a really fascinating peek into how the AI has organized its world.
So when you're sitting there, carefully crafting a prompt, what you're really doing is becoming an explorer in this vast latent space. You're giving the AI precise directions to navigate its map and find the exact treasure you're looking for.
Okay, so now that we get the how, let's talk about the who. The development of this technology sparked this incredibly fast-paced race, a true Cambrian explosion of creativity. It was wild.
The whole race really kicked off in early 2021 with OpenAI's DALL-E. But 2022? That's when things just went into overdrive. April, DALL-E 2 shows up.
July, Midjourney launches, and the internet absolutely loses its mind. And then, just 1 month later, in August, Stable Diffusion is released, and it changes everything. The pace was just insane.
And you can literally see the progress. On the left, you've got one of DALL-E 1's famous armchair in the shape of an avocado images from early 2021. And on the right, that award-winning Midjourney piece from mid-2022. I mean, the leap in quality, complexity, and artistic flair in just over a year is just astounding.
Right, that final entry on our timeline, Stable Diffusion, that represented a fundamental shift in how this technology could be accessed and used by everybody. It was a big deal.
This chart pretty much says it all. It tracks developer interest on GitHub for major open source projects. You can see these slow, steady climbs for things like Bitcoin and Ethereum over years. Then look at Stable Diffusion. That line goes almost straight up. It achieved a level of adoption in 90 days that took these other legendary projects a decade. It was a true explosion.
And the reason for this explosion was a fundamental difference in philosophy. DALL-E and Midjourney are closed, proprietary products. You access them through an app, and the company controls the whole experience. Stable Diffusion, on the other hand, was released as open source. Anyone could download it, run it on their own computer for free, and modify it however they wanted.
And this open approach was absolutely revolutionary. It meant you could fine-tune the model on your own face or your own art style. It gave users total control over every single technical parameter. It sparked this massive community that built incredible new tools, and it powered a whole new wave of small businesses built entirely on top of this free, powerful technology.
So, with all these incredible options out there, how do you even begin to choose the right tool for what you want to do? Let's break down the current landscape. So which one should you choose? It really just boils down to this. Each model has a very clear strength. If you want ease of use and great integration with tools like ChatGPT, DALL-E is your best bet, hands down. For the most stunning, artistic results right out of the box, Midjourney is still the reigning champion. But for ultimate power, control, and just endless customization, you've got to dive into the open-source world of Stable Diffusion.
So, we've journeyed all the way from the core science of denoising to the birth of a brand new creative industry. These tools are way more than just novelties now. They're becoming genuine creative partners. Which leaves us with a really huge question to think about. As machines start to master the art of creating images, what's next for human creativity?